I'm going to
Sure.
start with Ben's glasses. They have been an obsession for fans.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, was that a character choice on your end, or was that something the costume department just, threw in and now it's just become a whole thing?
You know what? The glasses, Ben Stone's glasses it was a character choice that I made at some point through the first season. I feel like it could have been the second or third episode. I decided that every time he was looking at a screen that his eyes would need some extra help. So we just threw those glasses on and it's become, part of him like a third arm.
Definitely. Now I'm sure you guys try to like insert them in as much as possible.
It's interesting. This new season that's coming out, hopefully soon. I don't know if we've seen the glasses yet, so it's interesting. Oh, that's a lie. Maybe we have. Maybe we have. I think they start making an appearance later in the season.
Okay, I hope so. Don't break any hearts right now.
No, no, no. They will never be far away from Ben Stone.
That's good to know. That's kind of surprising because, in our little social media digging, I think you guys wrapped the first half of the episodes for Manifest. So I think, it's a 20 episode season. So I think you did 10. That's my guess.
That's right. Yeah, we just finished the first 10. We're on a little hiatus and we're getting ready to go back and finish out the story, which is, incredible. We're so grateful that we're able to come back together and finish the story out. But it's also kind of bittersweet because it's, what I've loved so much over the past 4 years. And to know that it's finally coming to an end is, gratifying and sad all at the same time.
I'm sure. I know it's totally mixed feelings for you guys. We're going to jump ahead a little bit then, since you're
Sure.
kind of segueing to some of my other questions.
Yeah.
It's kind of an obvious question, but can you kind of tell me your feelings when you guys got the news that you were canceled and then the news when you were saved?
Devastation into absolute elation. It was, such a sad thing for all of us because, when you're in a TV show and a TV series like this that, runs for a while and you get deep into it, you get deep into these characters, you get attached to it just like the audience does. And you want to know, you want to be able to give justice to the story and justice to these characters. And, the idea that we might not be able to do that, or the idea that we would never be able to do it again because we were canceled was, heartbreaking. But, such is the way it goes in this business. Sometimes things go for a long time, sometimes they don't go at all. And so you kind of just roll with it. But we were sad to hear that news. But as soon as this groundswell of support came from our fans and from people finding it anew for the first time when it came onto Netflix, they didn't even know it existed until it was on Netflix. And it just sort of took off, and it was hugely exciting and really validating. And the fact that Netflix made a bid for us to come back and finish out the story was incredible.
I mean, it's thanks to the fans that you guys are back, and you were also really like piloting that hashtag Save Manifest campaign. So do you have a message to the fans, just to say thank you?
Oh, from the deepest part of my soul, I thank our fans, our manifestors, for coming to the show's rescue and support. I mean, we do it for you, and we couldn't do it without you. So we're internally grateful and cannot wait for you to see what we have in store for you for these final 20 episodes. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, and you're going to see some interesting things from the characters you know and love, and some you're going to see in ways that you've never seen them before. And of course, we're gonna find out more and more about what happened to them and where they were, and as we get closer and closer to the finale, the end. but it's going to be a ride.
I love the little teases that you're giving. You're driving me and you're going to drive the
I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could, but I am been sworn to secrecy. But I will tell you that it's going to blow everybody's mind.
That's amazing. All right. Can you maybe talk about, well, sorry, anyone who hasn't seen season 3, but I think anyone watching will probably have seen it. Can you talk anything about how you Ben is navigating being a single parent now and how you approach that?
Not very well. I think I can say this, that we begin the next season 2 years from where we left off, season 3. So we've moved ahead in time. And, Ben he's an interesting, complicated man, complicated character. He is very singular in the way that he thinks. And, everything he does is absolutely for his family and for the love of his family and to protect his family. But because of that singular way of thinking that he has, it can sometimes start to alienate, the people closest to him. And it's, a lot of the times it's his way or the highway. And most of the time he's right, but, sometimes he's wrong. But it's hard for him to not move through the world with sort of blinkers around his eyes. And sometimes I think, and of course I haven't gotten to the end, sometimes I think that, he could be the agent of the apocalypse of the downfall of all of this sometimes, because of the way that he is so tenacious and so singular in the way that he moves through the world and moves forward. And he, it is all for his family, but it can sometimes come with collateral damage around that. But he is always going into it with good intentions, right, but also willing to break the rules sometimes in order to. Sorry. What's that? No,
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, in order to break the rules to. It's so hard not to give anything away, but to get at what he needs or wants to find out. And, I think there is a certain amount of, maybe there's a certain amount of guilt that he carries for some reason about what happened to them and the time that he lost. And I think he wants to fix that, and he wants to create something new in the now with these people, but he gets so with his family, with his loved ones, but he does get very, very singular.
Well, you're making me a little nervous, but
yeah. I mean, the first part of the season, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
We were kind of expecting it going in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Would you say, kind of, what are some of your favorite TV dad moments, both maybe on Once Upon a Time and Manifest? You just said, for Ben, family is the most important thing for him. So what are some of your...
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think, for both characters, they do have similar things about their personalities. Definitely for David / Prince Charming, family was everything to him, but he thought sort of more globally, I think. And Ben is, like I said, he's more blinkered about things and more singular about things. In the case of, David Prince Charming, I mean, what an amazing world that was. And, he carried a certain amount of longing for his daughter. And it was always so great, working with, Jen Morrison, JMO, as I call her. I, love her so much and love that dynamic, which could have been super bizarre because we were both the same age, but I was playing her father. And I think, David would look at her, particularly, in the first season and some of the second season, if I can remember right, with, a large amount of longing for everything that he missed out. He missed out on her life and missed out on her growing up. And I think as the series moved on, he made a conscious decision to look at her not for what he missed out on, but for who she was then or now, who she was as a woman then, and to get to know her as she was and for the woman that she was to become. And I think that was a great choice that he made. I can remember so many moments in Once that were so great, dad moments. The one that immediately comes to mind was not with Jennifer Morrison, but when she was a baby, in the pilot episode, when he sword fights with her as a baby in his arms. I don't think you can get any more dad girl than that. That was a great moment. And I think there were so many great moments. In Manifest, it's different because it's so fraught. There are moments that come in and out, little moments, but they never are allowed to land for very long before something comes up. But I think, Ben is so protective and so proud of his kids. But I think he has a harder time showing it. And I think because he's so afraid to relax, because he doesn't feel that they're out of the woods. He doesn't feel like he has the answer yet. And I think there's something in him that keeps him from enjoying the present with them. And maybe that's a lesson that he needs to learn through all this. Maybe that's what it's trying to teach him. I don't know. We'll find out.
Right. I was going to say there's actually some similarities between Emma and Olive, even like you just said, because, both Ben and Charming, they miss out on years of their lives. And then they have to, they have kind of a difficult relationship. Even if we go back to Olive, when Ben first came back into her life, it was not a totally happy, it was hard for her to adjust and for him to adjust. So, I think you can see those similarities too.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think David / Charming got there a lot quicker. And I think, it's just harder. It's more complicated for Ben and Olive and Cal and Eden, Of course, at the end of season 3, Eden is now ripped away from him as well as his wife. So it's just a very complicated situation for him to just kind of let go and be with them, because he's always trying to fix and find and figure out.
You personally became a dad while you were on Once Upon a Time with your lovely Snow White, Jennifer Goodwin. So
sorry to interrupt you, but we always think of the weirdness of what our kids heard through her belly during that, because, we were working and, talking about dragons and all different kinds of stuff and pulling hearts out of chests. And it's like, I wonder what they absorbed inside the womb when they were on that set.
I don't know, maybe they have a creative imagination now.
They certainly do, both of them.
Awesome. So I was wondering if you learned anything from playing Charming and then applied it to when you had kids in real life.
Absolutely. I think just that, but I think it comes naturally, at least it did for me when I had kids, is that utter devotion that you have to your children and the love like you have never felt before. And I definitely, Charming definitely had that. And, Ben Stone definitely has that. And you just acquire it. You can't help it. It just hits you. naturally this unbelievable love that you have for these two humans, for these humans that come into your life. But I think, that idea of always being there, when they need you, and being present is, something I definitely learned from playing David in Once Upon a Time, about being there, being present, being available for your kids.
Awesome. And then I'm going to do it on the flip side too. Did you...
What not to do?
No, not that. Did you learn something not to do? I don't know. To share?
Don't ride dragons, maybe. I don't know.
No, I was going to say, being a dad in real life, did that affect how you approached playing a dad, in Manifest as Ben?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think a lot of the decisions that Ben makes, I wouldn't make as Josh. Although I don't think I'll ever be in the position, I hope to God I'll never be in the position that Ben Stone is in real life. I don't think I would do a lot of the things that Ben does.
That's okay. That's all right. Awesome. Did you direct an episode this season?
I certainly did.
Okay.
And I was unbelievably grateful for the opportunity. It's something that I've been wanting to do for, a long time. And I feel like I've been in this business 1,000 years, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And I couldn't have asked for a better episode to direct, with the greatest cast, who made me look like a genius and made me look like I knew what I was doing. And I cannot wait for people to see it. I think, it's an episode in the season where we see some of our characters like we've never seen them before, in a situation that we've never seen them before. And hopefully it sort of sheds new light on quite a few of our characters. And I can't wait for people to see it. I'm really, really proud of it.
It's episode 7, right?
That's right. Yeah. Episode 7.
Okay.
I was just about to tell you the title of the episode, but I don't know if it's out there or not.
Okay.
I was about to tell
me. I will tell you.
Yeah. But I had the time of my life.
Awesome. Is there more directing in your future?
I hope so. It's definitely something that I want to continue doing.
What was it like? Did you have to direct yourself? I don't know if that gives.
I did, and it was interesting. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how difficult it was, and how fun it was all at the same time. And, when you're directing yourself, you definitely have a shorthand. So I don't have to get in deep conversation with myself about, what it is that I'm wanting to do or anything. So there is a bit of a shorthand, which can be helpful.
At least
I didn't get into any big arguments with myself.
At least there's something. I know it can be difficult for some people, so it's good that there was something easy about it then.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. You know what? One more question. I remember you, like, every time you would hug Emma in Once Upon a Time, or Charming would hug Emma, you would cradle the back of her head. Was that a conscious choice on your end?
It was, you know what? It wasn't a conscious choice. It was something that happened automatically. And as soon as I did it, I thought, oh, that feels familiar. That feels the same. And I was like, oh, I'm going to just keep this in as a little nod, a little, a little, an honoring of Once Upon a Time. So I kept it in there. I just wanted a little callback to it. And I thought that was, for people that were in the know, they would see that. And I thought, I'm just going to keep it.
You can see me like just crying. So
thanks.
All right. So between Charming, Hook, and Robin Hood, who's the better dad?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm going to say charming, of course, but I think Hook would make will and did make an excellent father, and Robin Hood was a great dad too. They were all kind of great dads, I think, in the end. But if I got to say which one's the best, I'm going to have to say charming.
Of course. And all of you are lovely, handsome men, and we can't forget about JR and Matt Long on.
Oh my God, the handsome that comes off the screen on those two, it's unfair. Let's be honest, it is unfair.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then are you up for a few quick rapid fire questions to wrap this up?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Who's your favorite dwarf?
Grumpy.
Okay. Favorite junk food?
Favorite what?
Junk food.
Kebab.
Is that junk food though?
Well, I guess because I lived in England, I lived in London for a long time, and that's just like what you would do after you would leave the pub and you've had a few drinks. You would always go to get a kebab. So I guess that's what I associate it with.
Shout out to you being in the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Thank you, RSC. Thank you very much.
We heard your beautiful vocals on the musical episode.
That's right. Yeah.
I need more singing from you though.
I would hope so. I hope so. Yeah. I mean, not that I can tell you, but I would definitely want to do some more of that.
Next project, just record an album and give me credit for that.
So. Okay, done.
Favorite childhood TV show or movie?
Oh, my favorite childhood TV show. I guess it depends what age, but I think I'm going to say The Wonder Years. I was really into The Wonder Years big time. And I was in love with Winnie, in love with her. Yeah, okay. I would say The Wonder Years.
Awesome. All right. If you had a magic bean that could take you back to a season or a moment from either show, Manifest or Once Upon a Time, which one would you want to relive?
Oh, wow. I think it would be Manifest, and I think it would be the pilot. And I think it would be because I had the same reaction when I read the script, was the moment that Vance is out on that tarmac and the plane, we're out there trying to figure out what's going on. And he comes to speak to us all and he goes, "You have been missing for 5.5 years." And reading that moment in the pilot, just reading it on paper gave me chills, and being in it on the day that we filmed it gave me chills. And it was a pretty incredible moment. Yeah, it would probably be that. But there's so many moments out of both shows that I would go back. But if I just had to pick one, it might be that, just because it was so physical, the reaction to it.
Awesome. All right, last question for you. I know that Ginny liked your quarantine beard when you guys were on the Instagram.
She did.
Instagram Live.
She did. I think she might have been the only one.
So I know what we're calling it is Ben's grief beard. So what were her thoughts?
That's correct. What's that?
What were her thoughts on the grief beard?
She loved the grief beard. She wanted me to keep the grief beard. She wanted me to keep it growing as long as possible. It was, it's her weird, it was definitely her kink, for sure.
That's a good way to end it. Oh my gosh.
Thanks so much.